A swift response from the Public Hospitals Authority, who says it's still interested in talking to the Consultant Physician Staff Association following its demonstration yesterday. But is the CPSA open to this? Our BJ McDermott has the story.
Brief release, the PHA noted that at the end of a July 6th meeting, the two sides agreed to further discussions on financial matters and that within the last 2 months, the authority began to review in an attempt to move forward, at least as far as the PHA's financial constraints would allow. As for the CPSA's concerns over key infrastructural issues, the PHA says it has engaged in a comprehensive review of PMH's air conditioning system and the phased renovation of its radiology area, and that as a result, the air conditioning in the hospital's operating theaters and ICU is functioning normally following a temporary repair. There's the promise of a more permanent solution in the coming months. Meantime, the radiology department is undergoing a major renovation that includes the installation of 2 state-of-the-art digital X-ray machines and a 64-slice CT scanner. But here's what CPSA President Dr. Loxley Monroe had to say about that.
They should be honest with the fact that the last meeting we had was on the 16th of July. And we had a meeting scheduled for the 30th of July, Monday, the 30th of July, which they canceled. And they have never gotten back in contact with us concerning continuation of our negotiations. They have never done it.
Dr. Monroe says the association has already made the necessary recommendations to the PHA to help fix the issues.
The statement has been made to them by the CPSA that we need a health fund that is independent of those bloody politicians who fill their pockets, right? We need a proper funding for the healthcare system. Not no consolidated fund, which is, according to Al-Qaeda, is used at the discretion of the government.
The CPSA president forewarned that unless the PHA truly meets all the requirements, its band-aid approach to addressing the issues will continue to fail.
Yes, it is nice to know that they can fix the air conditioning in 1 week, that they can fix the CAT scanner in 3 months, and that they can fix the roof of the hospital after 3 years. But for more than 20 years, they cannot fix the doctor's salary.
Reporting for JCN News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
In other news, Hong Kong multinational conglomerate Hutchinson Whampoa couldn't do it, and this after several attempts. So what makes the government think it can sell the Grand Lucane Resort and sell it as soon as possible? Well, according to Tourism Minister Dionisio Diagler, Hutchinson was motivated by self-interest. For the government, it's more a combination of motivation, allegiance, and duty.
When it comes to a matter that will significantly impact a substantial segment of its population, in the case of Grand Bahama, over 50,000 people, the government is duty-bound to take action that is in the best interest of its citizens. In pursuing the purchase of the 1,200-room hotel property, the government seeks to secure the foundation of Grand Bahama's tourism sector and bring about a critical turn in the direction of Grand Bahama's economy. If the government did not act, the closure of the hotel was a certainty. Right. The Grand Lucane is too important to Freeport and ultimately the Bahamas. It is too important and too big to fail.
But while reviving the Grand Lucane is critical to Grand Bahama's survival, the question remains, what is the overall plan for that island's economic expansion?
We are positioning Grand Bahama as a multi-destination vacation paradise catering to all tastes. Cosmopolitan beach vacation experience in Freeport, Lucaya, with 2 dynamic centers of interest offering cultural and ecotourism in the laid-back out-island ambiance in West and East End. On the drawing board are plans to make of Grand Bahama a mecca for world-class sporting events from road races, cycling, kayaking, sailing, golfing, tennis, and sports retreats. Grand Bahama is already well known for its signature cultural events, which attract an international following. The Ministry of Tourism will continue to work with stakeholders to enhance these events to make them even more attractive for export.
As for airlift, the minister says Bahamas Air has also been instructed to immediately create attractive packages to the Grand Lucane property. The Minnis-led administration openly accused of being disingenuous in how it has framed the Grand Lucayan, one that will ultimately cost taxpayers at least $100 million. That coming from PLP Deputy Leader Chester Cooper, who yesterday insisted there are many more creative and much less expensive ways to help Grand Bahamians.
Perhaps the government could have subsidized the losses of the hotel as they're doing now in this deal. Perhaps at a minimum, government could have and ought to have forced Hutchison to honor the union's agreement and pay out severances according to our law, and then rehire the employees that they need if they wish to be reemployed. So get the vendor to pay the people. If you're really concerned about the people, get the vendor to pay them what they owe them. Perhaps the government could have insisted on this to continue to receive many of the concessions.
Mr. Cooper further opined that the Grand Lucayan purchase is not about saving Grand Bahama's economy, neither about helping Grand Bahamians, but rather all about the Prime Minister's ego.
I believe it is about an F&M, desperate to deliver on something, anything for Grand Bahama, given its lofty campaign promises, no matter what the cost.
Passed in the House of Assembly last evening, the resolution is now on to the upper chamber for debate. Micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, or MSMEs, now have an outlet to get started, grow, and evolve. This now that the Small Business Development Center has been launched. On hand for Thursday's opening, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis.
We took as a guiding principle that sustainable economic growth should be driven by Bahamian investment and creativity in tandem with strategic foreign direct investment. We believe that entrepreneurs are the primary drivers behind innovation and growth. We set as goals for our administration to stimulate Bahamian ownership, to create jobs, and to reduce poverty.
The Prime Minister says in order to achieve these goals, they realized they had to address the blockages preventing Bahamian ownership and stiffer job creation.
The key, we realized, was access and opportunity. Access to the kinds of opportunities that those who have traditionally succeeded in our economy often take for granted, including good advice, help with planning and execution, contacts and networking, and of course, critically, access to capital. Access so often separates success from failures.
Behind the SBDC are the Ministry of Finance, the University of the Bahamas, and the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employees Confederation.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.